Welcome back to SnowRunner. So I haven't played in a couple of days. I've also not uploaded for a couple of days. And the reason for that is because I lost my internet. And there's a whole story to that. So the county I live in Maryland, the cable company has proprietary rights for the whole county. So basically all the cable lines that are run on like the power lines around the county are owned by them. And it's not like Comcast or anything, because Comcast is obviously a much larger cable company, but this cable company in my town is, um, I mean, they're a large cable company, but they're basically only in this county that I live in. And it's funny too, because like my parents live in Pennsylvania, and Pennsylvania is like 5 minutes from my house. Like I live really close to the border, and like they have Comcast where they live, so it just happens to be the county I live in has proprietary rights to uh, basically cable in the county. So anyway, there's a bunch of other companies that have been running their own like fiber and stuff to be able to have broadband internet and stuff like that. And this company that was running their fiber in my area, we have a like my where I live, my neighborhood doesn't have like buried power lines or anything, so we have power lines running like through my neighborhood, and the one that supplies my house is behind my house, and there's actually like a farm lane behind my house, and that's like right where the power line is. Did I pick this one up? Yes, I picked this one up. That's the same one. Um, so anyway, the cable line is also on that power line, and it also runs to my house. And they were like, there's a tree right beside it, so they were, they were trimming stuff from the tree and whatnot, and I guess trying to prepare for running their lines. And then they were running their lines on Thursday. That was what? Today's the 9th as of recording this, so 8th, 7th, 6th. The 6th of July. They were running their line or whatever on the line that my power pole and everything is on, and either they disconnected my cable line or they like knocked it out or something happened, but it was literally just dangling there. Like I could see it just dangling there. And of course, we contacted the cable company, like the cable company that we have service through, and they were like, yeah. They were like, have you reset your modem? And I'm just like, are you fucking kidding me? Like, at this point, I didn't know that the line was knocked off or not connected because I hadn't gone out there. But the that night, whenever was talking to them, they were like, reset your modem. So I tried it, and they were like, well, it doesn't seem like we still can't see your modem, so you may have to, your modem may have gone bad, so you need, like, tomorrow come in and swap out your modem for a new one. So I was like, all right, whatever. So I did that. Didn't make a difference. And then that was when, my wife was starting to get irritated. So she was on the phone with them, and I walked out back and was just looking up at the line, and I could see it just hanging out. And I came back in, and I was like, it's literally like the line is not even connected. Like, it is dangling there. So this company that was doing work either messed it up or something. So anyway, they were like, well, we can't get to you until Monday. And I was just like, are you serious? Like, we're gonna have to go all weekend without internet. Like, that's just absolutely ridiculous. And like, we only have internet through them. We don't have cable TV because we don't watch it, and we use streaming services for everything, so it's just not necessary. And again, like, my parents have cable, so like I'll just use their cable login for things if I need it for certain stuff, like ESPN and like other like sports related stuff. I'll use their login, and they don't care. Like, whatever, they don't mind that I do that. So anyway, we're big F1 fans, and the freaking F1 race was this weekend, and we were like, well, we're not gonna be able to watch that now. So we ended up going to my parents' house to watch it because my parents aren't even there on the weekends. They're at their river location where they spend most of their time in the summer. So anyway, they like, again, my parents didn't care. They were like, yeah, sure, go to our house and watch it. But they anyway, it's Sunday as of recording this, and they called this morning when we were at my parents' house watching the race, and they were like, we can get to you this afternoon if you're available. And I was like, yeah, absolutely. I was like, as long as it's, after like 12:30, whatever. So they came, and the guy came in, and he was like, he like disconnected my modem and like plugged in his thing. I was like, I can tell you right now that that's not gonna work. I was like, I know what the problem is, and like I showed him the picture I had on my phone. He was like, oh yeah. He's like, that's definitely the issue. And he was like, there's no way they knocked that out. He's like, they just disconnected it. And I'm just like, why would they disconnect it? Like, that doesn't make any sense. And he was like, I don't know, they do some crazy things sometimes. And I was just like, wow. So I don't know, it was wild. I've never experienced anything like that before, although this company is very well known for like being really bad with service calls. Like, they can never get to you in a reasonable amount of time. Like, I would expect at least 24 hours max. If you like, I have a problem, obviously I would want it fixed right away, but I would at the bare minimum expect you to be able to get to me within 24 hours. And like, it was just like it was like impossible for them. They couldn't make that happen. And we were just so pissed, and we're just like, well, what, we're just screwed. And like, the other kicker is our cell phone service, which we have AT&T, and usually it's pretty good, but for some reason at our house, like, we get okay service, but like, we can't load anything with like the data. Like, it just doesn't load. Like, it's just strange. Like, you try to load something, like, it says we have LTE. We don't have 5GE in my area. We're just not a big enough area for that. But like, it says we have LTE and we have service, but like, you try to load something and just nothing loads. So it was like, iMessage wasn't working. Like, it was just a big old disaster. But it's all fixed now. So whatever, I guess I can't be mad anymore, but it's just annoying. I like hate not having internet. It's like the worst thing. It's just hilarious too, because like, grew up without internet, like, it's a normal thing. Well, not anymore, but like, when I was growing up as a kid, I didn't have internet. I didn't have a Wi-Fi. Like, Wi-Fi wasn't a thing. It just, if you wanted to use internet, you had to like get on the computer and use dial-up and all that stuff. And even back then, there wasn't even like high-speed internet. There was like DSL, which again, like, wasn't through your phone line. And then finally, cable companies came out with internet, and that's when internet started getting really fast. But I don't know, man. It's just crazy. Like, I don't think that's the longest we've ever had an issue. There was, when we first moved to this area and had to get from this cable company, I remember I didn't call early enough to like set it up to when we moved into the apartment we were living in at the time. And we didn't have internet for like the first week we lived there because they couldn't get to us before then. And this company does, well, I think they do now, but at the time they didn't allow you to do like self-installation. And I'm a pretty technical guy. I have a tech background. I do a lot of tech stuff for work. Like, tech meaning like audio and video and stuff like that. I do a lot of stuff at a pretty actually well-known live theater in my town, and so we do a lot of live productions and things like that, and just other events. So like, I'm one of the techs. So I'm a technical person. I know how to make Cat5 cable. I know how to do all that stuff. And it just whenever there's an issue like that, or like if I can install something myself, I'll do it. But they wouldn't let you do it at the time, so we had to wait for the techs. And I think we didn't have internet for like the first week we lived there. But when we moved to this house, I had set it up like that we were moving, the date we would be in here, and I could literally just, since we were already a customer, I could just disconnect my stuff, bring it over here, plug it in, and that was it. It was already ready to go. But we've lived here for almost 4 years now, and That's really the first issue we've had, like internet-wise, with them. So, you know, I can't really complain. Other people have had way worse issues with that company. I don't know. What bothers me the most is their customer service is just so bad. Like if you have a customer that has an issue, like you need to be able to get to them within 24 hours. Like that should be bare minimum expected service. Like you shouldn't have to wait a whole 3 days to get your service back that you pay for. Like it's ridiculous. One reason why I didn't really like them either was because at the time I had like moved. I mean, this is years ago now, like 10 plus years ago, whenever I'd moved out of my parents' house, moved in with my girlfriend, which, you know, we're married now, obviously. We've been married for almost 8 years, but moved in with her in this town. So, like, I had Comcast living with my parents. When we moved into this town, we had to get this cable company because you don't have a choice. And Comcast at the time, which I think they do now, or they may have changed it now, I don't remember, but Comcast at the time didn't have like a bandwidth cap where they like made you pay for extra bandwidth if you like went over, kind of like data caps, and this company did. And I was like, that's so dumb. Like, how are you gonna cap or charge me for more bandwidth usage? And whenever COVID happened, they got rid of that because, you know, a lot of people were working from home and they didn't want to charge people extra money. So like they dropped the whole like data cap thing. And then they had been expanding their network and, you know, running fiber and all that stuff. So now they just have like, you know, they don't have an issue anymore with bandwidth. So they were like, we're not going to ever bring that back. Like it's forever gone. You don't ever have to worry about your going over your bandwidth and all that stuff anymore. So, you know, I'm a little happier with them now that they've done that. But I don't think Comcast, I don't know if Comcast does or not. I'm not sure. I don't remember. I haven't lived in Pennsylvania in a while, so I don't know. Still some more stuff here. Is there? Okay, that's the corner. So let's just drive this way, I guess. But yeah, so it just sucks. Not having internet's awful, especially when you have 2 young children that like, you know, having the internet is like all they know. So like when they're like, you know, when their tablets don't work, when they can't like watch YouTube videos or whatever else they want to watch, they can't watch like Disney, they can't do any of that. You know, they just like go crazy and they don't understand. Well, my oldest does, but my youngest doesn't understand why his tablet doesn't work. Like he's like, why can't I load this? Like why, you know? So, excuse me. But anyway, that's my rant on not having internet. And I wasn't even playing SnowRunner because I wasn't sure if I could play offline with the mods I use without internet. I think you can though, because my son was doing it on his Switch. He was playing and he was still able to use his mods that he has active. But whoops. I don't know. But we're gonna just explore the rest of this map, and then that may end up doing it for this episode. I don't know. I don't know if we'll have time to do anything else. I should have probably gotten on this game when I didn't have internet and done those farming jobs, but I just didn't. All I did was play Death Stranding, and that wasn't even that, like, being offline in Death Stranding kind of sucks too, but it is what it is. because that is the edge of the map, so we're good. Oh god, I hate bridges like this. Of course it blew my tire out. Why would not blow my tire out? Jesus. I did get a couple episodes of Humanity recorded though, and so we're a little bit ahead with Humanity. Man, some of those levels have gotten really hard though. I was stuck on one for a while. It took me hours to figure it out. Like I had to stop the recording, and then I played it on my own just for a little while, a couple hours. Not all at once, but like for a little while. And I figured it out for the most part, but I did need to look up a little bit of help because I couldn't get it to work. I couldn't figure out how to move the blocks and still get the goldies. I don't know. If you don't know what I'm talking about, check out the other. I upload 2 videos a day, so at 10 a.m. I upload. SnowRunner is usually always at 5, unless I am playing another game that I think would do better in that time slot. I'll swap them, but I always upload at 10 a.m. and 5 p.m. So Humanity right now uploads at 10 a.m. and then SnowRunner's at 5. So, you know, just keep an eye out for that. If you want to see Humanity, check that out. But I always usually have 2 things going up at once. SnowRunner's kind of always the constant, and then I always have a game that I am working on the Platinum Trophy in. But Humanity is just a fun little puzzle game. If you've never heard of it, it's kind of like Lemmings. If you don't know what Lemmings are, especially if you're young, you play as a little dog in Humanity, not Lemmings. You play as a dog in Humanity, like you control a dog, and you have like a path, like a group of people that are constantly walking, and you have to set up a path for them to take to get to the end. And you have to pick up these things called goldies, which are just gold people, and get them to the end goal. And some of the different, like, depending on like the sequence, they're called sequences, you either only have a limited amount of commands, or you have some of the sequences, like, you can change the commands as the people are walking. Some of them, once you start the level, you cannot change your commands. Like, there's like a power button to like make the people move, and once you make the people move, you can't change anything. So like, there's various, it increases in difficulty, and there's various, mechanics and stuff that keep you from doing other things. But it's pretty fun, and it's really enjoyable if you like those kind of games. But it just seemed like a fun game, and it's on PS Plus Extra, so I figure why not. And it just recently came out too, back in May, I think. So it's very neat. What the hell? Some mud, man. Seriously, Jesus. I know I should have like shifted to low gear on that, but I just didn't. I really need to start playing F1 again too. I never recorded F1, and I probably never will. But like, that's a game I just really like playing, just because I like racing games. Like, that game is almost impossible to play without a wheel, and like, I can't get my wheel out and play with my wheel when my youngest son is awake, because he just messes with the wheel all the time. And then again, like, nighttime is my time to record, and it's just a pain to drag my wheel out for like a couple hours, so I just haven't done it lately. But like, that's a game I just kind of want to casually try to get all the trophies in. But I don't know that I ever will, because there's trophies that you have to get, like, you have to have like a team. Because like, if you don't know anything about F1, each team has 2 drivers, so there's 2 cars on the track from each team. Total, there's 10 teams, and there's 20 cars on the track. So each team has 2 drivers and 2 cars. That there's trophies in there to like basically win the season with your team, with, 2, like, you have to like basically co-op. So it's, you know, I mean, my wife enjoys F1 and she's played the game a little bit, but it's just not fun with a controller. Like, that game is really meant to be played with a wheel. So using a controller is just not really enjoyable. All right, let's go back here and grab these two things. And then that's probably not all the tasks to pick up, but it's most of them. But yeah, so I don't know that I'll ever... I mean, I would love to get the platinum on it, but it sounds like it's pretty hard to do. Because I don't... I mean, my wife plays games, but not to the extent I do, and I don't know that she would be up for doing that anyways. Because, like, doing, like, the race weekends, it takes a long time. You have to go through, like, the practices, the qualifying, all that stuff. And I mean, you can skip a lot of it to, like, speed up the time, but it kind of takes away from the simulation of the game. Like, you know, you want to go through practice to learn the track and, you know, figure out, you know, whatever else, and then you want to do qualifying to try and get, you know, the best position, the best starting position you can, because I'm telling you what, it is really hard to make up positions in that game. If you don't start out front and you don't get out front early, you're never going to catch the people in the front. It's crazy. I even have the difficulty on it turned like way down, and it's still hard. So Red Bull's currently killing it though in F1 right now, and I'm a Red Bull fan, so. And I only really chose Red Bull because I just like Red Bull, like the drink. I like Red Bull. Like, it's always been one of my favorite, like, energy drinks. I don't drink it often, but if I'm ever in the mood for, like, an energy drink, it's gonna be Red Bull. And they just happen to be, like, literally the best team. So, alright, I already have that picked up, actually. We really only just got into F1 though, like this past year though. We started watching Drive to Survive on Netflix and kind of just got hooked on it, and then we just started watching the races. It's definitely entertaining. I definitely enjoy it. I grew up going to NASCAR races with my parents though, so I've kind of, you know, I know that's not even close to the same thing, but you know what, let's do this. Why not? We picked it up. We don't have a whole lot of time left in this episode, so let's just do this. Are we supposed to knock out the scarecrows? Yeah. I think that's the idea here. It's called aim to misbehave. A lot of scarecrows, holy crap. Oh. It's a whole other field. I don't know which one it's gonna send me to, you know, like. Nice gold medal. Okay. Well, I guess that's the whole map pretty much cleared out, so. Hey, let's go retrieve this truck, why not? Where does it need to go? Oh yeah, easy. Let's go get that. So let's just cut across this field. The bees like buzzing in my ears. I should be able to get across this river. Anyway, it's good to be back playing SnowRunner because I didn't get to play for a couple days, and I'm really upset mostly because I had been uploading literally every day for like the past year. I've never missed a day. Even went on vacation and still didn't miss a day. I had enough videos ready to go. So it kind of sucks, but I mean, it's whatever. It was out of my control. There wasn't anything I could do. And I had 2 videos that were like uploaded and they were uploaded and like ready. Well, they weren't ready. I needed to, you know, do like the descriptions and whatnot, and like upload the thumbnails and everything. Like I hadn't done that yet, so like I could have done the descriptions and stuff from my phone, which granted, as I've said, I didn't have the best service anyway, so I wasn't really going to be able to do that, but I probably could have pulled it off if I was really determined. But then I wouldn't have had the thumbnails to upload because the thumbnails are all on my computer, and I don't have any way of giving my computer internet. I don't have any way of tethering my phone's data because we still have an old cell phone plan. There's a long story with that too, but I don't really feel like getting into that. But so we don't have any way to like hotspot, which again, our fucking service here is awful, so I don't even think it would have worked. But I didn't have any way to get the thumbnails. I didn't have a way to like prep the videos to be scheduled to upload, so it just, you know, just didn't work out. We missed a couple of days, and you know, it's not the end of the world. Alright, it's probably best to go this way. Because I don't have... Going back across that river is going to suck. Let's just yank it out over this way, and then I'll fix it. No, why? Can you quick winch correctly sometime, game? Sure. Come on, roll over, baby. Really? It'll roll over here. There we go. What is this? I don't even know what truck it is. I don't know this map at all, so I need to... Oh, it's the weird bridge. So we will deliver this, and then that'll be the end of this episode. So we managed to get some stuff done. I mean, we did the rest of the exploring, we had story time, and did a little bit of stuff. I don't know how plausible it's going to be that I'm not going to be able to I'm gonna get away with not doing any more farming in episodes. I probably will have to do a little bit, but I'll try to keep it to a minimum because I know that shit's boring, and I don't even want to do it myself, so. Seriously, what is, it's an onk. I was gonna say, it kind of looks like an onk. My son loves this truck for some reason. I don't know why. He loves the onk. I think he just likes the name of it. It is really crazy though how, like, back to the internet thing, it's crazy how you don't realize how much stuff you have nowadays that relies on the internet. Like, you know, I have children, and we have, instead of getting like expensive baby monitors, again because I'm a technical person, we just bought like IP cameras, and that's what we used for like our baby monitors. And we still have one in our youngest son's room just because he's only 2. And, you know, it's just nice to be able to check on him every now and then. And he still is like sometimes when you put him to bed, like, he doesn't go to bed right away. He just, like, you know, rolls around and goofs off in the bed. So, like, and we can talk over the camera. So, like, we usually will talk over the camera and, like, you know, tell him to lay down, whatever. But anyway, it's always worked really well. But, like, when we don't have internet, that doesn't work. And then, you know, we have a couple like smart Wi-Fi switches for like lights and like a ceiling fan in our like living room here, and you know, they don't work when we don't have internet. And it's just like, you can still use the switch on the wall, but like, you know, I don't have to get up to like turn the light on or off or turn on the fan. I can just do it from my phone, which I know is lazy as shit, but like, it's just kind of the convenience of things nowadays. Like, we have, you know, wireless Wi-Fi switches and stuff, and it's just, you can like smart home stuff, and it's just amazing. Like, you forget, like, I don't have internet, and you try to do it and you're like, well shit, I can't do that. So like, I don't know, it's just things like that you just don't think about. You have internet, so you can't do it, and it happened so much. Like, the very first night that we didn't have internet, usually like whenever we put the little one to bed, we let like our oldest son like watch some, like, he's like obsessed with Dirty Jobs right now, so like he'll watch Dirty Jobs before bed. And I was like, watch some Dirty Jobs whenever I was putting his little brother to bed, and I went and put him to bed, and I came back out, and he was like sitting here like pouting on the couch, and I was like, what is wrong? And he was like, it's not working. And I was like, oh shit, sorry buddy. I was like, it's not gonna work, we don't have internet. And like, he knew we didn't have internet too, but like, I guess he wasn't thinking about it as well. So it's just like crazy. It sucks not having internet, I'm telling you. It's the worst. And even if we had like cable TV, that still wouldn't have worked either, because our line to our house was completely disconnected. It's just the craziest shit ever. Never, like, the tech from the cable company even thought it was like the craziest thing. He's like, I've never seen this just disconnected like this. He's like, there's no way they knocked it out. He's like, they had to have like disconnected it, because it's like a special type of connector. You can't just like pull it out. You have to like twist it and pull it out. So like, there's no way it just fell out. There's no way they knocked it out. Like, it, you know, it's crazy. I just don't understand why they would unplug it. Like, it doesn't make any sense. Like, was that them trying to be like, oh, come be our customer, we're, you know, better than your cable company. But it's like, no, you fucked up my internet and made my life hell for 3 days. I don't know, it's crazy. Anyway, I'm not gonna talk about the internet thing anymore. Next episode, we will just talk about something else or talk about SnowRunner. I don't know. But we're here, and I'll see you next time. So leave a like if you liked it. Subscribe if you want to. And have a good one.